Super Mario Bros. 2! The sequel to Super Mario Bros., you'll be devastated to learn, presents itself to us with a very theatrical title screen. I don't know what the deal is with that. Anyway, here's the story. I must have some kind of bootleg knockoff cartridge of this that I'm playing in my real Nintendo system, because there is no way that that story text there was authentic to the original game. That can't be how it was written back then, in the 1980s, so allow me to translate what it should say. Slowly, when Mario opened a door after climbing a long stale in his dream, another world spread before him. Whoa, couldn't even read that. And he heard a voice call for help to be changed from a spur. From a spur, sorry. There. After awakening, Mario went to cave, in quotation marks, nearby, and to his surprise, he saw exactly what he saw in his dream. Push button to start. Yeah, fix that terrible translation error. That is more faithful, I'm sure, to the original. Let's not waste any time. Extra Life 2, that's one of those games, huh? We got 2 extra lives. Luigi! Which, the start button is not sufficient for Luigi. Please select player again with the pretty theatre curtains and stuff all around us. Where are we? Whoa! What's going on here? We just fell out of a door in the air. Well, as usual, with an old Nintendo game like this, there's the explanation for what is going on and why and wherefore and what now is distinctly absent, except for that suspiciously well-written introduction sequence for a 1988 video game. Mario's had a dream where he went to a place where badness was happening, and then he woke up from the dream and found a real place where the badness was happening, and now he's gone through a door and entered into the place where the badness is happening. The poor innocent civilians of Subcon, someplace, mysterious place where things exist. A mysterious land called Subcon where the creatures there are being oppressed by an evil big frog called Wart, who will never appear again in the series, ever again. Some people say that he has a cameo in Link's Awakening. I don't think that's the case. I think they just used his sprite, that's all that is. Nintendo just reused the sprite. But for some reason or other they do not want to acknowledge Wart. They really don't want anybody besides Bowser anymore, as part of the series' streamlining that's been going on over the years. They don't want Wart, they don't want Tatanga. Hello there. There's something that triggers that heart to appear, much like there's something that triggers Luigi to be doing what he's doing right now. Which is if you hold down crouch for long enough, then he does that, and then if you jump, you get a super jump, like he just did. As if Luigi needed it, Luigi's already got a super jump. Luigi is a jumping machine. How appropriate being a Mario brother. He's got a very nice fluttery jump that he can flutter his way into the air, like Yoshi. Except that unlike Yoshi, he can't break gravity and flutter upwards by fluttering with his legs. But he does what he does. We're in a cave now. And it's Mario. Luigi is through a cave. But you might have noticed if you've watched Super Mario Bros. 1, you might be surprised to find that there's a shortcut over there, but we're doing this like someone that doesn't take the shortcut. You might have noticed the gameplay is quite different from the original Super Mario Bros., and it certainly is. Of course, the gameplay of the original Super Mario Bros. Was a lot different from the gameplay from the Mario Bros. Arcade game in the sewers, or Donkey Kong. But this was certainly a departure from the series. Picking up vegetables and throwing them. Picking up enemies and throwing them. Those hearts. Those hearts up there on the left, which we can jump straight through, they're not hearts, they're diamonds for some reason. I always thought that was weird, the weird diamond looking things in this version of the game. Not in the remake, but what do you do? We're totally blindsided in this game by all kinds of things we've never seen before, like the Shy Guys here. They're so shy they gotta wear masks. Very shy creatures, they don't want to be seen. How sad. It's quite tragic. Well, they're gonna die anyway. So it won't matter whether they're wearing a mask or not, isn't that right, Luigi? Yeah! Oh no. I like the clouds. I like just a little oval for a cloud. That's your lot with clouds in this game. That's actually kind of weird, really, because the original Super Mario Bros. Had pretty detailed clouds, but not here. There's Birdo, the famous transsexual boss, mini-boss, that just keeps on coming back over and over again, every single level, to shoot eggs at you. If you don't know why Birdo is a transsexual, it's because it said so in the enclosed instruction book for the original game. Well, specifically what it said was that Birdo is a boy who thinks he is a girl. Not that I don't know why they even added that. It's quite weird that they mentioned that at all. There's no reason for it at all. It's not like it's part of the deep, sophisticated storyline of Super Mario Bros. 2. Birdo doesn't get a character arc where they learn to accept their gender identity or anything like that. That sort of thing didn't happen in the 80s. But some person at Nintendo thought that would be an amusing thing. Perfectly innocent back then. Let's Toad! Let's Toad. Yeah, they probably really didn't think anything of it. Oh, this is funny. Let's have a character who is a boy, but he thinks he's a girl. He wears a ribbon in his hair. Hilarious. Just a jolly joke back then. Nothing more, I'm sure. But the times have changed. Oh, what? No. Well, Nintendo seems to try to brush this under the carpet, because Birdo is always... There's never any hint of this genderness in Birdo now. She's always portrayed as a girl. There's no hint of anything more to it than that. I think that's enough about Birdo. They didn't even get Birdo's name right in the end credits of this. Oh, this was key, I forgot. I think one of the characters can jump high enough to jump up the cliff instead of going through the door at that end part of this area. But Toad is not one of them, regrettably. We've got to get a key to get in the door before that evil mask that hunts you down as long as you're holding the key is chasing you. All these weird mechanics in this game. You just don't question. You don't question it when you've been playing these games for so long. Why does a mask come out of nowhere and start chasing you because you picked up a key? Well, I mean, that was good timing in one way, but it was also extremely bad timing, as evidenced by my my health bar. My health diamonds are not in the tippy-toppest of tops. Got to be a slightly more careful, because much like the original Super Mario Bros., this is old games in the olden days. This is the stupid olden days back when they had harems. Games weren't nice back then. If I don't perform to the excellent quality that Mario requires of me, I'll be dead and game over and back to the start. Because that's just how it goes. Ugh, mushrooms, plants. Toad's joined us for the journey. This game is responsible for everybody thinking Toad is a specific character called Toad, I think. This and the Super Show, the cartoon of Mario that came out just after this game came out, which made the cartoon a really weird hodgepodge of the first Super Mario Bros., which had a lot in common with the rest of the series, and this Super Mario Bros., which has next to nothing in common with the rest of the series. Pretty much the only thing they kept from this game was the enemies. A lot of the enemies that Mario uses to this day came from this game. This game that was quite famously now originally not a Mario game. It was a completely different game that they decided to rebrand for the West. Or at least that's one version of the story. I've been hearing recently that it's more complicated than that in some way, but I don't really know. Regardless, the Super Mario Bros. Series owes a lot to this game. Shy Guys, Bob-Ombs, Birdo, of course, Sniffets, just lots of things. Oh, the stars. When you go in, when you get a magic potion, which sometimes comes out of the ground when you pull out the sprouts, those potions have got giant patches of sproutage at the top of them for some reason. Goodness knows what that's all about. If you get the potion and put it down, a door appears, and you go in the door, and the world gets mirror flipped left and right, and it all turns black. And if you pick up the shrubs, then you get coins instead of shrubs. And hopefully there might be a mushroom if you put there might be a mushroom if you put the potion in the correct place. And if there was, indeed, then you pick it up and you get a extra maximum point of health, of energy, but only for that one level. There's 2 mushrooms in every level, so happy hunting for those. Very sort of Middle Eastern sounding Arabian music for the caves, I feel, which is probably something to do with the original version of this game, Doki Doki Panic. Because in that is set in the, well, I mean, it's set in this weird subcon place, but the characters are all clearly Middle Easterners. They got turbans and things, so obviously that was the idea. I don't know why, but it was. There's nothing about this game to suggest that the characters should be like that, but that's what happens. I mean, there's nothing about this game to suggest the characters should come from a kingdom full of mushroom people either. But there you go. There's really nothing about this game to suggest it should be anything. Anything but a really strange game. Where you get chased by a giant mask. Well, a normal-sized mask. It doesn't really matter what size it is, it's still pretty weird that the mask is chasing you in the first place. It doesn't have any arms or wings to fly with. It's got nothing. Oh, look at that, the Sniffits thing there. Look at that little hole there. Just in between these spikes. What's that for? Just in case you fall down here, you can try to save yourself. Well, that's nice, Nintendo. That's nice of you for once. That's just some more of that considerate game design that the Shig was all about. Shigeru Miyamoto. I'm sure he must have made this as well. This is back when these games didn't bother to put credits. Super Mario Bros. Doesn't have a credits roll for the. It doesn't tell you who made it. This game doesn't tell you who made it either. It tells you who the enemies were, and it manages to fail to do that as well. It calls the Clab Clawglip. The Clab boss is Clawglip. Birdo gets his name, excuse me, switched with someone else. It's just all everywhere. Which is why I suspect that this is a bootleg version of the game. Because like I said, the introduction was clearly seriously inaccurate to the original. Look at the buzzy spark going around those shrubs. The shrubs clearly occupy an entire grid, an entire box of worldness to themselves. There's Mouser, who was obviously a Nazi officer character in the Super Show.
He spoke with a German accent and talked about taking the plumbers to the prison for 200 years. Stay in this dungeon.
I don't know why they thought that was a. I don't know why. Then again, I don't think anybody knows why when it comes to the Super Show. Mouser likes to throw bombs because that's what mice do. Have you never seen Tom and Jerry? I'm not doing the best job of handling these things. Let's try from behind. Yeah. Mouser throws bombs, and I don't know why, but he does. Super Mario Bros. 2 here is one of the fairly rare Mario games where the bosses are a bit different from just the Koopalings, or throwing Bowser into a bunch of fire or lava. We get Mouser and Triclide, and for that matter, all the bosses in this game never come back. Although a lot of the normal enemies appear across the series, like the Shy Guys, we never see any of these bosses or Wart ever again, I believe. Yeah, I'm pretty confident in that, except for Birdo. Again, for some reason, I don't know why they kept Birdo, but they did. Whee! There. Anyway, World 2 is the desert level, which is interesting because Super Mario Bros. 2 here doesn't have the famous themed worlds like later games did. Neither did the original Super Mario Bros. It wasn't until Mario 3 where we started to get the grass world as the first world, and the desert world as the second world, and the water world as the third world, like it always is in every single game from 2006 onwards. No, they hadn't settled on that stuff yet. We just got a bunch of grass and desert worlds and stuff. But I do find it interesting that the desert world is still the second world in this game. That was probably what set that precedent. And there's an ice world later on. I think the ice world's usually world 5 in later games, but it's world 4 in this one. Nee. Oh well. Got to chug our way down through these rows of sand in this one. Yet again, just a rather strange mechanic, but it's one that makes sense in a game where you're picking stuff up from below you all the time. Birdo again, of course. And it's the pink Birdo as well, which means that he's not going to pull any nastiness and start shooting fireballs at us. Birdo can shoot fireballs in the later levels, which is not a desirable action for Birdo to perform. And the worst part is you have no idea if it's coming until after he shoots them. You'll know if you're going to get fired or not when the thing hawks out of Birdo's large, disturbingly shaped mouth. It's kind of creepy how Birdo hawks these eggs out of his mouth, but he does. What is this? Oh, I just realised actually I've been calling Birdo a he, but that's offensive because Birdo considers himself to be a girl. It's a boy who thinks he is a girl, so that's, if I understand the transgenderism correctly, which I probably don't, that means that you call Birdo a she. That was something that used to confuse me. What's this? No. So Birdo, well, Birdo comes in later fashionable colours later on, and all of which have a different attack pattern to them. The worst of them all, I believe, is the final one. I think it's green, where Birdo just constantly throws nothing but fireballs, and you're forced to use the mushroom blocks to do anything resembling damage. Oh, there's another enemy that started in this game. They're the Pokies, the cactuses. That's right. Down we go. I'm not particularly concerned about collecting all of the mushrooms. I'm afraid this is not a 100% mushroom run. You're not going to be getting to find out that. And since this isn't the Game Boy Advance remake, it's not a 100% Ace Coin collection run either. Nor is it a 100% Yoshi Eggs run. The secret bonus, the thing that you get in Mario Advance. Spoilers. But it's not exactly a huge plot twist, really. Let's just run over there. There we go, we get a few rows of span dealt with for us. Oh, what's this over here? I'm gonna go over there. For no particular reason. There's a sniffet there. Oh, well that was a bad decision. That wasn't though. It could have been, but it wasn't. You can't let yourself not take good, bad, difficult decisions just because something bad happened because of it once. That's good life advice from Team Sponkel. Can't say we don't teach you anything. Look at that over there. There's just nothing there. Well, there's one of the variations of Birdo I was talking about. That is the red one. We don't need to use this block to jump up here, we could use the super jump. Remember me explaining that earlier on? Well, it doesn't matter. Because that was it. Get off of the... Oh! I didn't know that happened. There's the fire. I didn't know that those eggs still hurt you after they hit the wall. Well, that's good to know. Come on, Toad. Now. That. Let's just see if we can deal with this as fast as we can. Well, it was a shield. That was lucky. Thanks there. There. That's that. Off we go into the bird. And another thing about this, the giant bird's mouth. There's just a massive bird that... Oh, what do you know? I won something for once. You go into the mouth of that giant eagle thing, that hawk, which only opens up once you collect the crystal ball that came out of Birdo's stomach. Which again, you just sort of take for granted, all these things. You just don't question this stuff. It's like Secret of the Stars. I mean, Tecmo Secret of the Stars of Fantasy. You just become immune to this eventually. The spirit of Tecmus is alive and well in this. Oh, the princess is the slowest one to pick things up, so she didn't get those. It's a pumpkin. Yeah, each of the characters that you can play as have their own attributes. The princess is the least strong. It takes her the longest to pick stuff off the ground. Curiously, Toad is the strongest though. He's even stronger than Mario. Which you wouldn't have guessed, would you? But there you go. Mario isn't even the best jumper, it's Luigi. I think they stay consistent with that across the series. Whenever they have gameplay differences, Luigi jumps higher. Which is weird, because in the RPGs and things, Mario's always the one that gets made a big fuss about being able to jump well. and not Luigi. I don't know what to tell you. Luigi doesn't even jump at all in Luigi's Mansion. Oh, it's one of these Pac-Man worlds. Pac-Man places. It's the Pac-Man logic. Loop around reality. But only when you're inside a little cave like this. There. I just remembered that there's a door up there, so we're going all the way down here, so we can get something all the way down here that lets us go all the way up there. Ah, that. Yep. Ah. Uh-oh. You've got to try and time these things the right way to stop those guys from getting you. Literally, those guys. Those shy guys. Oh, you turned around to face me. Oh. They got adaptive AI. Yeah, the key's here. It's a good thing that only one of these masks chases us, because I wouldn't want all 7 of thess things on my princessial pink blouse posterior. Yeah, princessial pink blouse wearing posterior. Get in there. That's the raisins. All these cherries.
Mmm, smells like cherries.
A little better, because that's what they are. You collect 5 cherries, I think, to get a star. And now that we've got a star, that's enough for us to not bother with the rest of these cherries. Rather than that, there's no score in this game. You don't get points for slamming the enemies. Although you do in the remake, in the Game Boy Advance remake. And only that one. For whatever reason. I don't know why. Now, I was really worried that when I jumped there, she was going to hit the beak and fall down and get hit by that, but no. Well, 1 piece of health to contend with Tri-Clyde. Tri means free in something. Probably Latin. And Tri-Clyde is 3 Clydes, I guess. The snake is called Clyde. Oh no. That was a mistake. Well, that's alright. We've got 2 diamonds now to deal with this. Maybe they're the earrings that the princess wears. If that's the case, I guess all the main characters wear earrings. Because they've all got diamonds for health. But then when you get the mushroom, you get more diamonds, so... don't know. Oh, really just 3 hits for that? I thought it was more than 3. But it was 3. There's the 3 mushroom blocks that I used to inflict the deadlying blows on the Sly-Clyde. Oh, I wanted to get 3 turnips. 2 turnips and a star. Smells like cherries. Really? That was enough for a 1-up? Must have had to get a mushroom and a